Okay, take it away.
So tonight we're talking about free groups. Even though I'm kind of a newer coach within I'm kind of minor compared to you all. I have done free groups before, had some success with them. Took a break for a while, and I'm kind of excited because I'm getting ready to kick another one off that I just got done, and I'll talk about it at the end. But I have a little presentation. I don't know who it was a few weeks ago, but I also like to follow slides too. So I'll share my screen, and then I'll show you what I put together that is going to allow me to incorporate Shakeology and show all the nutritional information into that very subtly. I think it's subtle. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
See my screen?
Mm-hmm.
It'll zoom in. So I found this template, and it's Legos. I thought it was kind of appropriate because basically that's what we're doing. We're doing free groups. We're trying to build our team, and sometimes people don't work out and have to be swapped in and out. So the primary purpose of our free groups is to build relationships. This purpose is so that they get to know you, and it's important that during this you be yourself. It's kind of like dating. Think of it like dating when you're meeting these new people who from your cold market. They come in and they're trying to get to know you. You're trying to get to know them, but it's not speed dating.
Fancy slides.
Miranda fell prey to the siren song of a New York singles event. Multi-dating. $20 buys you 7 mini dates, each 8 minutes long, which incidentally is about as long as most blind dates should be. Hi, I'm Miranda Hobbs.
White Owens, a private wealth group at Morgan Stanley, investment management for high net worth individuals and a couple pension plans. Like my job, I've been there 5 years, divorced, no kids, not religious. I live in New Jersey, speak French and Portuguese, Wharton Business School. Any of this appealing to you?
Sure. Portuguese. That's impressive.
Obrigado. What about you, Mandy?
Miranda. I'm a lawyer at a mid-sized firm. Actually, I was recently made partner. I'm a lawyer. I went to Harvard Law School. I'm a stewardess.
So even though it might work with some, it's important to be yourself. Because those first few, it kind of shows they're not part of your tribe anyway, right? So in the end, you're not going to want them there. So when you're doing these free groups, you want to use videos during the free groups, use videos of yourself. You want to use your own voice recording. And this is so that they get to know you. When they see your ad, if you do ads, I don't know if you all do ads or not, but when they do ads and they come into the group, they see you. They don't see a bunch of Pinterest pictures, which are nice, but you want them to get to know you. And then within the free group, you want to post. Don't just do one a day and disappear. You can easily schedule the posts and not show up. So you want to make sure that you're there and answering questions. So the trial run, these are basically, it's also like an interview. They're interviewing you during this process to see how committed you are to them, to see how good you are, how I personally, I'm not very dynamic, which is something I'm trying hard to work on, especially in my videos. Someone said, "Oh, you're just analytical." When I watch my own videos, I'm boring. So I'm trying to work on that. But they're interviewing you and checking you out, but you're also interviewing them. Like those first few people in the speed dating scene, you're checking them out to see if they're going to fit within your group. I've been in a couple, I've been doing Beachbody since 2012, probably late 2012. But I've been a coach, signed up as a coach in 2014. Well, during all that time, I've been in a couple groups where one or two people will kill the group and people will leave. And that's just death to a coach. So you want to check the people out to make sure they're going to fit within the tribe that you're trying to build. Make sure that, to be a good fit, you want to have similar personalities, similar interests, similar beliefs. Because if you can get a whole group together that are like-minded, there's going to be a lot more dynamics within that group. And it's going to transfer over into your paid groups, into your team as a whole, into your like page. It's just going to follow you throughout your business. And in the end, you're going to end up retaining more people than those who are leaving. If you can get one person for life over 10 people who's going to be gone within a year, then it's the compound effect, right? You want to be able to retain those people. You don't want to bring someone in who's a bad apple and who's going to run people off. And the free groups are a good method of bringing someone in without actually introducing them to your main group. So also another thing is you want to be careful, because sometimes our free groups are, they're usually not more than a month, right? Not more than 30 days. Some people do 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So you want to be careful not to judge the people too fast. Maybe if you're not sure, you run them through another free group with you. You want to really get to know them and really try and build that relationship. I'd kind of like to, I run a primary page, and then I have two other pages. One is for a free group, one is for my paid group, and that's kind of where I don't have a lot of coaches, but when in 2014, that's where I was building my primary group, was within that paid group page. So my main like page was kind of the funnel into those two, so that it didn't cause too much havoc if I ended up with a couple people who were either they didn't like Beachbody or whatever was going on, or they didn't like the way I did the coaching, or they didn't agree with Shakeology, or maybe they were trying to build their own tribe. It's easier to weed them out, because when one of the groups I was in, this was before I was a coach, and actually it was when the Beachbody groups on the Team Beachbody website was really popular before we started using Facebook. We had to move groups probably every other month, once a quarter at least, because someone would come in and start disrupting things. So the coach at that time would start a new thread, or maybe the thread would start to die out. But the problem with that was obviously you couldn't block people. If they found you, they could follow. So use that as a method to interview them, and realize that they're also checking you out. And don't judge them too quickly. There might be a reason why they're in your free group over jumping right into a paid group. With the free groups, this allows them to get started in Beachbody. Allows them, it's a good introduction to not Beachbody product, but the coach and the style of coaching that they can expect with a paid product. Some of the obstacles that they may have with the paid version might be financials. Maybe they're just unable to purchase a product right then. If that's the case, you can help them clear out excess junk food out of their daily diet, out of their weekly diet, to free up just $4 a day for Shakeology. if you can help them during that time to realize that the cost of the Shakeology is no different over in the long run than a even a happy, or not a Happy Meal, but a regular meal at McDonald's. The only difference is you're purchasing Shakeology all at once instead of each day. It just, for some people mentally, it seems better to go and spend what, $5-6 for a meal from McDonald's throughout the month, because they don't do the math as they're doing it, than it is to spend the $130 on a bag of Shakeology. And some people just can't get over drinking their meal. So during the free group, it's a good opportunity for you to plant that seed, for you to help them clean out the junk food out of their diet. You can also help them somewhat financially a little bit to clean some of the fat, and that can, that's leading up for you to help them make that good choice of getting that good nutrition in them with the Shakeology, plus being able to get a better program that they can do, a more structured program, and the nutritional guides that come with the Beachbody programs. For a lot of people, it's, home workouts or working out from a DVD is kind of a new concept. Most of us, probably everybody's seen, like the Richard Simmons and I don't even know who's on now on TV, if there are any people on TV doing exercise things like what Richard Simmons did, and there was Denise Austin back in the day. Probably dating myself, but I think this group probably remembers them. But how many people really took that hour to do that with the TV? There's still that mindset that you do your workouts in a gym, you do it with equipment. So sometimes there's being able to get over that, but also that's a great benefit too, right? Because they don't have to deal with the crowds. This method with your free group allows them to, they still don't have to deal with the crowds. Make sure, I'll mention this later, but make sure it's private, and then they don't have to deal with the embarrassment except for within the people who are in that group. And just realize some people are just not ready to commit. They're just not ready to commit that cost to their fitness and to their health, really, is what it boils down to. You want to make sure in your groups that you're going to provide value. You need to post with a purpose. Don't just do random daily posts. Make sure that there's a consistent theme throughout your fitness group. If you're doing a fitness group, make sure that the workouts are that they flow from day to day, that you're not overworking muscle groups. I know we're not experts, but typically with a free group, we're doing just basic workouts. If you're doing a nutrition group, make sure that they're getting the proper nutrition that they need. Don't just throw something together and then throw it out there. There's a lot of great things that you can plagiarize off the internet and make it your own. Just make sure that you do make it your own. The first one I did was it was actually the Beachbody challenge, which had nothing to do with Beachbody. It's just that the purpose was to get your body in Beachbody shape. But it was just a one-page picture, and it had 30 days of exercise for each day, and I made a PowerPoint, just a different slide for each day, and that's what I posted. And then I posted a link to, I went out and found links to the exercise that showed them how to do that exercise. It was someone else doing the exercise, but I just posted a link along with it. And I think that was, I don't remember scheduling though, or I used Hootsuite or something like that. It was before Facebook had the scheduling internally into it. Also, with your free group, you've got to provide a value to them. they need to come away saying, you know, that really helped me in some way, shape, or form, whether it's financial improvement, nutrition improvement, fitness improvement, maybe it's a mental improvement, you know, clean eating, but you've got to show them that you as a coach can provide value, because that goes back to them checking you out, right? They're going to come away from that group, good or bad, thinking this is what they're going to get as they continue on with you. Or are they going to go looking for someone else or another program or end up in CrossFit or something? So you want to make sure that you can help them on a personal level and help each one of them on a personal level. You want to pick the group that you want to run. So do you want to do an exercise group? Do you want to do a fitness group? Is it going to be financial? I've not done a financial group. I've seen, I think, one or two, or heard of one or two coaches doing one. And of course, the purpose there was, again, to help them free up money so that when they approach them with the Beachbody products, they knew that money was no longer an issue. So, you know, I guess one mental thing in my mind that I have to get over with that is it kind of seems a little shady, although I personally wouldn't think that if someone helped me that way, but I don't want someone thinking, oh, you just did that so that you can get my money. But it's not, because these products work. You've got to believe that these products work and they work for the people, right? So you're helping them, and it's not just you help them pay off maybe a credit card or show them how to combine some finances. You're helping them get rid of doctors' bills and health issues down the road. So make sure that the group is private, that the free group's private, and that they know that it's private, so that what they post is not going to be seen out in the general, out on their wall, and all their friends aren't going to see it. And everybody else's friends that's in the group are not going to see it. There was some of that concern when I was first started running. Several people asked me if they were going to be seen, because, you know, that was when the sweaty pics were really big. Post your sweaty pic. And I was a little concerned because I was new. I wasn't a big Facebook user, and I wasn't sure I set it up right, which it was. You know, some of the people, they come back and said, I can see that on my wall. Well, that was, you can see your own posts on your own wall. So just make sure it's private. Make sure that they know that it's going to be private. What's done in there is confidential and is going to be safe. You want to pick when the group's going to start. Pick the date. Once you pick the date and you start advertising it, you need to stick with that date. If there is one person who signs up for it, you need to stick with the date and you need to run the group, even if there's one person. That one person could end up being your best coach. You can, if you do only have one person, or if you have new coaches, you can run it with other coaches. You can co-run the group with them. You can merge them either to help make the group bigger. Maybe 3 coaches have 2 or 3 people each, so the group's now 6 people. And like I said, if you have a new coach to help show them what to do. You can also bring in other groups. If you put an ad out and you just get 20 people, 30 people that want to do your group, bring in other coaches to help. That helps spread the posts out that you have to do, and so that you're not killing yourself trying to keep up. I think I've seen most people, if that does happen, tend to split it up and run 2 different groups. Also, having more coaches allows them, they can add content to and add their experience. If we need to run our groups with the abundance mindset, in that, you know, don't worry that another coach is going to steal your person. If they do end up going with someone else, they've connected with them, right? They're not part of your tribe. You've not made that connection with them. And we're here to help benefit them. this kind of goes back to last week, Carl Deichler's post, where April, the UK market's not going to be opened up, and he had to kind of pull back and get back to the core of the group of Beachbody, which is helping people. And it goes back to that. You know, if they go with another coach, you still help them. And they may, you know, some of their friends, they may be like, well, I would do it, but I don't like this guy. And those people may refer them over to you if they know that they're going to click with you. So don't count them out. Don't worry about co-running with other coaches. There are literally, what, 1 billion people in the United States. I don't know how many people's in Canada. They open up the UK. I think there's enough to go around. Be clear on what the free group's going to be. Be clear on when it's going to start, when it's going to end, and what it's going to entail. You know, are you running a nutrition group? What are they going to learn within that group? What should they expect to come away with? What benefits should they expect to come away with out of that group? Then your content, you want to make sure your content's ready. You can, if you're running your first free group, you can create the content as you go on that first one. Just make sure you're saving it so that you can recycle it and reuse it. It's better to create it and have it ready to go. For me, it's better to have it done, ready to go, have it all scheduled, and then all I have to do is interact. I don't have to remember to post and get in that mode. I can just interact with responses and reach out to people. Make sure your content's accurate. If it's a nutrition group and you say this food will help with that, make sure the food will help with whatever that is. And again, make sure it's valuable, that they're going to come away with some value so that they want to continue working with you. Also, you want to make sure that the content's very clear.
Das hier ist mein Sektor. Das hier ist das wichtigste Gerät des Missgerechter. Das Gerät, das Überlebensradar.
Mayday, mayday. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you... Yeah, over. We are sinking. We are sinking.
Hello? This is the German Coast Guard.
We are sinking. We're sinking.
What are you thinking about?
So make sure that your content's clear. I also need to work on that. It's clear to me, and sometimes people come away with a different perspective. Sometimes it's kind of interesting. So this is promoting your free group. The recommendation that I've seen and that I found is to promote 1 to 2 weeks prior. I personally like to start a month out and start shooting out ads and start promoting it. And I think for me, a lot of that's because I don't have the engagement on my page that I need. I have I'm pushing 4,000 likes, but I just don't have the engagement. And not most of that, but 5 to 700 came since I started the Jesse Regan group. So I'm hoping that once I get into my tribe and we're just starting that section and targeting people who are like-minded, that's going to start going. But I like to do it a month out. If I did it a month out, if you have a lot of engagement on your page and you posted that far out and it filled up fast, then yeah, you probably want to put it to a week or 2 prior to the start date. You want to set your expectations with the group. So you're looking for someone who's committed to participate, to be active, that they're going to be there, that they're going to show up. You want to let them know what your expectations are from them. Also let them know what they can expect from you. Typically, what I've heard and what I've seen, and it's not like I've done a ton of free groups, but what I've seen is the engagement really drops off. So just let them know your expectations ahead of time, regardless, and realize that it's probably going to drop off. And I do think a lot of that is because they don't connect with you. You know, when I was blasting out ads and advertising it and bringing people in, it would just really drop off. Even though I would give away a T-shirt with my logo on it. For the one who posted the most, I had a scoring system, a point system, and would give a T-shirt away at the end of it. And it would the one would run for 30 days. That was the longest one. And there would only be one person by the end of it who was active and engaging. And that's, you know, it's not the fault on them, right? It's my job to keep them engaged. So just also, this goes back to if the engagement does drop off, you know, don't judge, don't prejudge. They just may not be ready. Something may have happened, and they may come back and totally rock it out. This one goes hand in hand with creating your system or creating your posts and scheduling them and your content. You want to follow a system and have one set up so that you stay on track, right? You want to have your plan, your outline, and give it to them up front, at least just a summary of what they can expect, and then stay on track. But for you, this allows it to be repeatable from one group to the next group. If you end up creating a couple of free groups, 3 free groups, and you can just cycle through them, by the time you get back to that first free group, all you have to do is pull up your information that you've already stored from the first time around. Maybe you might need to tweak it if new information came out, but you want to follow a system and you want to be able to make it repeatable. This also, if they go through your free group and they want to do another one, this keeps it consistent. You're consistent, and they can see that you're consistent. So sometimes if you're just trying to make the posts up as you go along, you have an idea if you want to do nutrition, and each day you're going to go out and find a good healthy recipe to post. Eventually, at some point, you'll fall behind. If you start to get engagement, you'll be engaging with the people, and you won't get that recipe out there, and they're expecting it. So just make sure that you have a system set up and that it's easy to follow. Limit the number. You want to keep them kind of small. 10 to 15 is what's recommended. I think 12 is the most that I've had before, but this is so that you can build that relationship with them. If you have a group of 15 people and they all are active, they're all engaging, it's really hard to keep up with that. And to be able to provide that one-on-one time with them, because you don't know them, they don't know you, you're still trying to build that relationship, right? So just because the group is clicking, they still need to know you on a more personal level. So if you start to get more than 15 and you want to run it, then this is where you want to bring in another coach to help so that you can provide them the support. You don't want them to start leaning on each other. You want them to lean on you. You want them to know you because it's you that you want them to work with at the end. Okay. You want to make your groups fun. I think this kind of goes without saying. The giveaways, people love a giveaway. In the Jesse Regan training group, one of the coaches was doing a squat challenge. I think she did like a 10 or 12 day squat challenge. But she gave something away every single day. Yeah, that's the most I've seen anyone do. So, one of them was, it's just like a phone holder for your arm, phone strap, and not very large things, but every single day she was giving something away. and she would have them, she would do things like she would show them the squat, and she actually did it. And then she would ask a question at the end of the video and say, post your answer below. Because there would be people who would post, I did it. Well, they wouldn't answer the question, and she knew that they weren't watching the whole video. So that was something to help her. It was something fun for them. I only did a t-shirt at the end of mine. And like I said earlier, I used a Google spreadsheet, a Google form that they would just go in. Trying to remember what I had. I should have looked up ahead of time, but it was that they did so many posts in there that they did the workout, obviously, because it was a fitness one. And then at the end of the whole group, whoever had the most points got the t-shirt. During the group, you want to make sure and recognize their accomplishments, whatever it is, however big or however small. You want to call them out individually. Call them out by name. That helps you get to know them, and that lets them know that you're paying attention, that you are engaged, and that you're noticing what they're doing. You can do mini contests within the group, like who has the most posts within a day or within a week can get a prize for winning that contest, or maybe it's just the acknowledgement. Sometimes that's just good enough. Who shares the most about themselves, that helps you to learn more about them, so you can take those notes and use it later when you're forming. Helps you give more information for when you form. You know, who can share the most, maybe not the most intimate, but, you know, just come up with something maybe every day, or if it's a 4-week group, something each week. Say, share something about your family, share something about, you know, what do you hate about your job, so that you can use that later. And, you know, I remember you said you don't like this about your job when you're ready to present the coaching opportunity. If you don't recognize people and you're just putting the posts out there, and if you're not just recognizing, but if you're not acknowledging them also throughout the group, they start to think that you're just a robot, or that it's just a robot posting out in the group, right? That they've scheduled it and disappear. It's kind of like the Chalene Johnson training, that I'm not putting that down at all, because it's amazing training and she has like thousands of people, so she can't do it. But you know those are scheduled, and that when you post a comment in there, the chances of her reaching back out to you on that is pretty slim. So you want to let them know that you're live, that you're there, that you're interacting with them. You didn't schedule posts, get them in the group, and that you're just waiting for it to end. Also, if you do that, they'll stop engaging. And sometimes you got to find the smallest thing to compliment. Sign up to get into the free group. You want them to sign up for the group. You want to get their contact information. This is for your benefit later, right? Whether you use electronic form, paper and pen, something, anything. I use electronic myself. There's two coaches have huge binders because they're still using the paper and pen, which is okay, but it makes it hard to go back through and for me to search. So just make sure you get their contact information after the group ends. If they don't join a paid group, if they don't sign up for another free group, this allows you to stay in touch with them. I mean, the whole purpose of contacting someone initially is to get their contact information, right? That way you can keep forming them later. You can stay in contact with them. If you don't get that, you know, they're gone. So I think it also shows that you're interested. But if they fill out a form and put their information in, it shows you that they're interested. I think I had kind of a duplicate slide. Combine groups. Yeah, run with experienced coach. Teach new coaches. If you have a few participants, helps if too many are signed up. I'll just jump over that. Have them bring a friend. If you're having few posts, have them tag a friend for your group and bring them along. If your group is full, then at the end of the group, or as the group gets towards the end, you know, you can put out there, if you've liked this, tag a friend, have them sign up for the next one. So at the front of it, if you only have 2 or 3 people who signed up and you're like within a week of it starting, have those who signed up tag a friend, bring them in beforehand. If it's full at the end of it, have them tag a friend for your next group. Hopefully they've enjoyed your group.
There's more.
Forgot about that. But wait, there's more. So this is where you start to get into your advertising your paid groups, right? So as you reach the end of your free group, you want to let them know that there's more, that there's even better information. You don't want to seem sales pitchy about it, but you want them to continue. You want to let them know that you're not done with helping them. You want to let them know that that the programs from Beachbody, however you're comfortable doing it, is the next step for them. So hopefully you've built that relationship with them and they've trusted you and they're ready to take that next step. I heard just within the last week and a half that it takes, if you do a free group for 2 months with somebody, it doesn't matter if you're doing in 2 weeks, if you do a 2-week free group and then you do a 3-week free group and whatever, another 3-week, by the end of that 2 months, if you've built the relationship right, when you ask them to join this paid group to purchase this product, they're ready to purchase it. That you have a much higher success rate to do that. So in my mind, I'm thinking that you cycle between 3 different programs that span over the course of 2 months, right? So, and this is something I've not implemented yet, but because of what I just heard, it's something I'm thinking about. If you help them clean their nutrition up, which removes the junk food, maybe something you help them financially, which removes the complaint about the money, and then the fitness, by the time you hit the end of that 2 months, from what I've heard, and this is research that this other coach had heard and shared, that they're ready to purchase. And you've removed a couple of the biggest obstacles, right? The next one is pretty much their time, but they've already shown they're putting time into the free group. So now you're going to promote your paid group. You're going to do it during your free group. This is where, you know, maybe Greg can help, or some of you other more experienced. If you're only doing a 2-week free group challenge and the purpose is to build a relationship, but within a week you're already starting to promote a paid group, I'm not sure how well that works. Or if, in my mind, a 30-day group is probably better, or maybe even a 21-day group to help do that. The first 2 weeks it's focused on that, and the last one. But in your promotion, you want to encourage them to keep their fitness going, not to stop. You want to encourage them to take it to that next level and to let them know, hey, you've done this. I've seen you improve. You're ready for that. You're ready for these programs, and then help them find the right program for them. You also want to let them know that in doing that, they're going to get that continued support, not just from you, but within that paid group that you move them into, that you're going to get that support with a whole group of like-minded people helping each other. The scripts here, when you start advertising your paid group, use the Coach Online office. Why reinvent the wheel? They have for every single program in the online office, they have scripts and information for every single program. you can take those and make them your own and put them into your own words. But why reinvent the wheel? Just use that online office. And I just learned about this week, as a matter of fact, the e-cards, which I'm sure you all already know about. You already have their information. You can take e-cards and use them, unless you haven't had much success with that. So make sure that you invite them to the paid group. Invite, but don't drive them off. Don't be a car salesman. You want to do it smoothly. You want to do it in a way that's encouraging them to keep going on their fitness. So I know we've talked about towards the end, but on day one of the group, the first day your free group starts, you want to do a welcome video with you walking them in the video. You want to reiterate your expectations, that you expect them to show up every day. You expect them to do the workouts, to do whatever it is that group's focused on, and to interact. And then you want to reiterate what they can expect from you, but you just want to make sure you follow through with that you do what you say you're going to do. So also just let them know this is where you're going to give them a summary of, every day you can expect this. This will come out. Maybe every morning you're going to post a workout. By the end of the day, you need to let me know, post that you're done, a sweaty pic, a picture, whatever it is, however you want them to do that. But let them know your expectations of when you expect their posts and when their deadlines are for the post, especially if it's if you're running some kind of a challenge within the challenge. Sample Friday, maybe you have them post their weights. I wouldn't do this on a 2-week group. If it's a financial group, maybe you have them share not specific numbers, but hey, we've got rid of this bill, we've combined this bill, we've, knocked down our Cox bill. Have them post their changes. And this is something that you want to take note of so that you can remind them by the end of it, hey, I've noticed, you've lost this much weight through this group. If you take it to this next level and you've done this in this free group, imagine how much more you're going to be able to do with a structured program, with a professional fitness trainer, with a professional nutrition program. So have them post the changes that they noticed, what they liked about the group, what they didn't like about the group, so you can make changes and modifications. Make sure you post the winners of the contest. People get really bummed out if you ignore the contest and nobody wins. And then, so they've been through your group, they're not paying for a program, but they want to do another group. Do you let them go again? Absolutely. They're just not ready. Maybe they're trying to see if you're going to be as consistent. Maybe they need more time financially, but it just gives you more time to build that relationship with them, to learn more about them. The whole purpose of the free group is to build the relationship, so you want to keep building that relationship. And also, you don't want to judge them, right? If they don't buy, you don't know what the reasons are. So you never want to judge somebody.
I hope she sings this tonight. I know. Hey, Dad, whoever. We need to go. Come on.
Well, honey,
Here's some money. What do we got here? Hello. Mission is a fractured fibula. Well, so that so you'd be able to go on tomorrow. Daddy's gonna be so excited. That killed him.
So don't be too quick to judge. And so here, that's the end of my presentations. So what I use is, I've been using this tool for quite some time because it's really helped me with, I had NASH and type 2 diabetes, and NASH is non-alcoholic sclerosis of the liver, which really is what got me into Beachbody. But Chronometer, you have like MyFitnessPal, you have Lose It, that you go in and you can log your food as you eat it throughout the day, and it tells you your calories and your carbs and some sodium. Well, Chronometer actually takes every item of food you plug in, and it breaks out. It takes your proteins, breaks it into all the essential vitamins or the essential minerals and the non-essentials. It lets you know what you're going to get out of that. It lets you know the vitamin K, the vitamin A, the magnesium, and it's really helped me zero in on my nutrition. And I use it to create my weekly meal plans. So I don't log my food during the day as I eat it. I create a meal a day that's complete, and it's completely whole. And then I go out and buy the food and I prep my meals with that. So what I did, as soon as that pop-up disappears on over my toolbar, is I created this document, and it's actually in compliance right now. They called me last week and are looking at it. There's going to be some changes that they want to make to I added the doctor letter pulled from the Beachbody coach site that had, you know, at the end of this document, I say, don't trust me, take this information to your doctor, and I have the Shakeology nutrition in it. Well, apparently there's changes they need to make to that because some things are inaccurate. And they want me in the introduction, I'm sorry, my throat's so dry, to put in there up front that I'm a Beachbody coach. I'm affiliated with Beachbody. So I need to do that. My purpose when I created this, or started creating this for the free group, was literally to show them Chronometer and help them with their nutrition. And what happened was, as I got towards the end of it, and I put in my sample day, I may have to scroll there. I think the Zoom call is making my computer run slow. That's all right. Now I went over the key information in the site, how it works. So the free group will be to show them how it does work. So after all of that, when I plugged my sample day in, I realized, oh, I got Shakeology in there. They're going to ask probably what Shakeology is. And so I put a blurb of what Shakeology is. But what I did was, this is my complete full day. This is everything. And there's a whole slew of other information that's broke out on the website of all the proteins, like I said, the iron. I mean, it's just a full, every single vitamin and mineral breakout. And then I took the Shakeology off and showed them what happens without the Shakeology. So, and this is where, you know, at the end, my contact information, I haven't run it yet. I'm waiting for compliance to approve it. Compliance also asked if I reached out to Chronometer to get their permission, which I had. I'd emailed them. I haven't heard back from them. So this is the Dear Doctor letter that they can take to their doctor, and then it has every flavor except for the new ones that are coming out, which Greg won't tell us what they are. So, and it has all of this pulled from the Coach Online office. So that's my next free group that we'll be starting as soon as I get the approval. That's all I have.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian. You really, you know, set the bar high now with the slides and the videos and the documents. Jeez.
Well, I'm boring, so I got to put other videos in there.
So, yeah, you kind of filled up all of our time here. So does anybody have any comments or questions?
or information that I got wrong that you found doesn't work?
Well, there really isn't one right way or wrong way to do things. So, it's like, just take away something that you learned and, I think the document's awesome. What I would do with this document, I don't know how this document would fit into a free group necessarily, but, and I'm sure you have a plan for it, but something else that I would do with it is I would put it on my website, on my blog, and I would, add a bunch of SEO keywords and generate traffic, right, to this,
Right.
like whoever's searching on Chronometer or whatever, right?
Right.
And offer them this for free if they give
Sure.
me their email address.
That's an excellent idea. Yeah, because this document is basically their takeaway from the group. I would be walking through, this is how you log it on, create your account, let's go create the account. So this would be a guideline, but putting it on my page that's a huge idea.
Yeah, I mean, because I think it would do a lot better as a free resource that you give away on your blog. And then once you get people's email address, then you invite them to a free group. Like, hey, we're going to have a free group that's starting Monday where we're going to put this stuff into practice, or something like that,
Right.
So I think that would be cool. It's kind of like your lead funnel. And I really liked your idea about stacking the groups together so that you get them engaged longer for different topics, clean eating, financial, like you said, or whatever. I think that's a really good idea.
Thanks.
Yeah, Brian, I actually thought it was your premium. I mean, that's what I thought it was you were showing us your premium. But why does compliance have to okay it? Is it because of the doctor letter?
Because I mentioned Shakeology and I talked about what Shakeology does for the nutrition. I wanted to cover myself. It's not like they told me I had to. I voluntarily sent it to them. But when I added the doctor letter and then I added all of the screenshots of the nutritional information, I heard some stories of coaches being shut down. I just didn't want that to happen.
That's like going to the IRS and saying, please audit me. Can you audit me?
Yeah, I was thinking, I mean, I make meal plans that have Shakeology in it. So, I need to take them to the compliance.
Yeah, that's not something they told me to do. It's, with the end pages, the doctor letter, which they said some information was wrong. They didn't tell me what, but they're actually rewriting it and they're going to post it back out onto the coach site. I just was a little nervous. It was, just my personal preference. Would I do that with every single one? I guess it would depend on the extent of it, but I'm hearing I don't need to do that.
I wouldn't. I mean, if compliance has a problem and they, the very, very unlikely chance that they would actually have, found your document or somebody complained about it, all they're going to do is contact you and ask you to change it or remove it. And then you can deal with them at that point. That's my philosophy anyway.
No, that's good to know.
Let's see what else. Videos. When you were talking about videos, you're not very dynamic or something you said, right? But
Right.
I was thinking Scotty Hobbs, what he does in his videos is he said that he drinks Energize before he does any of his videos. And, it kind of hypes him up and stuff. So
yeah.
I do a lot of free, not free videos, but live videos in my clean eating group. And that helps me engage with them more and them to, see me and trust me and hear me and stuff like that. I also like what Jennifer Wooten said on our team call, and I started doing this, asking them to rate their day. So like every day I'm posting please rate your day. Like, how was it? And getting engagement there. And then what else did she talk about? Oh, you see a lot of coaches in their free groups now. They collect the statistics from the people that went through the free groups, like how many pounds they lost, how many inches they lost, and then you combine all those and you use that to advertise for your next free group. So I'm going to start doing that because I've seen a lot of coaches do that. So that's huge, you know, especially if you can get their permission to post their picture or whatever. You know, if you had somebody that did that. But even, you know, just saying, hey, my last free group lost, you know, a combined 100 pounds. Who's interested? You know, you're going to get a lot more. And then I like Jennifer said, like her call to action, and she gives them 3 options, you know, like 1, join my free group, 2, continue on into whatever group, or 3, you know, check out, whatever. You know, I thought that was a great strategy too. So I'm going to do that. So anybody else have anything to add? All right. So Brian, again, great job. Just not a criticism or anything because I didn't say this, but you know, for people in the future, just try to keep your presentation to like 30 minutes, and then we'll have 30 minutes of, you know, other people giving discussion and stuff like that. So, so for future reference. Also, just an announcement that I didn't make beforehand, but I have a piece of information that you have to keep quiet, but just so that you know, the All Access Pass Challenge Pack is going on sale in April for $160. So instead of $199, so yeah, for you 13 people that stay to the very end, you get this exclusive information as a special gift. So it's $160. What?
160 with Shakeology?
Yes. Isn't that a steal? My goodness. I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's like $70 off, I guess, right? And then it was already at a crazy price. So that means that your commission goes from $70 to $50, but it's still $50 commission plus. I mean, no one should have problem, you know, achieving Success Club next month with, you know, this sale. I mean, it's just crazy. They get everything, like every single program and Shakeology for $160. I mean, that's what 21 Day Fix costs by itself, right? The 21 Day Fix Challenge Pack. It's just ridiculous. You know, if you explain to people like that, they'd be like, you know, are you nuts? All right. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging in there, and have a great week. And we have a team call Wednesday, and I have Patrick Ryman. I posted that. You guys saw. This guy is amazing. He literally travels the world. I mean, he's always traveling. He's in Costa Rica, like surfing whitewater rapids now. You know, it's like I want to be him when I grow up. But he's a 4-time elite coach, and he's going to tell you how he built his business without Facebook in the beginning. So it's going to be an awesome call. All right, see you guys. Have a great week.